Do, 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 do.
That the concept of Gomus is already hinted in the Torah in the very second pasuk of the Torah. And the Torah says, "Ha'oretz v'yisatoyu v'vayu v'choshech al pnei tahayin." This pasuk is referring, even the pshat of the pasuk is that there's a chisaron, that there's something, a defect in the creation that Hashem created, because the creation is separate from the Yivadah, so it has defects. So the defects, these defects is hinted that there will be opposition of the nations of the world against Klal Yisrael. And there's four oppositions: Toyu, Vayu, Choshech, Tahayin. This is a remez. It says a hint on the Arba Goyas. But at the end of time, Ruach Elokim, Merachefes al Pnei Hamayim, Ruach Elokim, the Medrash says, this is the spirit Mashiach ben David will bring to the world, Kilui, the revelation of the Ruach Elokim. Merachefes will come. It won't come in one shot. Merachefes. So it says, in which schus will it come? It will come in schus of water. Al Pnei Hamayim, the Ruach Elokim will come on the face of the water. What's the water? Says the Medrash, Shivchi, water represents tshuva. Shivchi kamayim libech noichach pnei Hashem. I think because tshuva, for tshuva, a person has to soften himself up. He has to be nichna. He has to humble himself. The first step of tshuva is hachno. The water is soft. That's pnei hamayim. Nomas libon kamayim. That the world will turn around and bend itself in front of Hashem. That's why tshuva is nimshal in mind. Hakol panim, it explained the chisroinus, the defects of the world, which is represented by the fact that the nations of the world ruling over Klal Yisrael will disappear al pnei hamayim. At the end of the time, there's a promise that there will be tshuva. Specifically, the Golus of Yavan, which we were redeemed from, which are that about this Golus is the holiday of Hanukkah, is referred to in that quoted pasuk as Choshech. So it's normal that we have a Chag of Oyer because they're called Choshech. 1 second. What specifically now? The Maral explains that the Adam consists, the human being consists of 4 parts. The human being. What's what are the 4 parts? Let's see how we can translate. And the opposition of the Umas Ha'olam to Klal Yisrael, really, this needs to be said. There are many books written on anti-Semitism. Where does it come from? And there are all sorts of different theories, and none of them really make sense out of stuff. Because that's the whole mistake over here. One thinks that we can live in peace, Arabs and Jews. It's like an impossibility, because it's Eishumayim. The dream that there can be a country together of Goyim and Yidden and be at peace is like the dream that that one can make peace through fire and water live together. Because it's not the opposition of the Umas Ha'olam is not something logical and doesn't have a reason. We had it in Rashi in last week's Parsha. Halacha b'yedua. Halacha, what the Gemara, the halacha b'yedua, the known halacha, which no Pesach brings. It's not written in any Shulchan Aruch. No Pesach talks about this halacha. What's the halacha? She'esav soineis Yankiv. Esav hates Yankiv. They say in the name of the Brisker Rav of Chaim Soloveitchik, he says, when I go in the street and the guy sees me, the only reason why the guy doesn't punch me is because he's lazy. He doesn't want to get into trouble. Bets him. If there be he bets him. Esav Soinias Yankiv. The halacha is something without a reason. But where does the Gemara use the halacha? Shloisha dvarim shabir abonon kehilchas of leitaimen. Now, my mind shloishto. Halacha l'Moshe Sinai, where there's no remez, where there's no smach in the pasuk, it's called halacha. Halacha, so it is. And since so Chazal say that Esav Soineis Yankiv is a halacha, it doesn't have a logical reason in this world, a materialistic reason. Esav Seinis Yankiv is a Milchama because Kedusha and Tumah are in opposition. From the time that Am Yisrael was Makabel the Torah, so Chazal explained, Har Sinai, Lama Nikra, Shmo Sinai, Sinai Miloshin Sinner. You're the Sima, Lu Sinner, Lu Messiah. It means the other way around. But because from the time that Am Yisrael was Miskadish, the Matan Torah, so the Umas HaOlam have an opposition. Kedusha and Tumah are two opposites, and it's a Ruchniistic Milchama. It's not a Gashmi, it's not, doesn't happen. You can't find a logical reason, say, if you get rid of this reason, everything will be fine. Ein Kezadara. Rebbeinu Shalom made the Shirish, the source of the Nishmas Yisrael, and the source of the Goy is from a different source, and there's a natural, like fire and water is a natural opposition in the nature, there's a natural opposition between the Goy and the Yid. It's a natural opposition. And since it's a natural opposition, and the Yud, the Tzelem Elokim, consists of 4 parts, what are the 4 parts? Let's see. The person has, one speaks about, there's such a thing as the Nefesh HaBahamis. Person has this common denominator with the plant world. This, how do we say that in the classification going up is in life you have plant life, you have animal life, and then you have human life, and then you have in our Emunah Klal Yisrael. We make a bracha in the morning Shelo Yasani Goyim. Shelo Yasanu Kegoyi Arotzos. Lo Yisamonu Kemishpuchas Adon. Klal Yisrael is something different. Like HaKadosh Baruch Hu separated. How do we say in davening and Havdalah? Like HaKadosh Baruch Hu separated between Or v'Choshech, Hamavdil bein Or v'Choshech, bein Yisrael ha'amim. Like you can't have Or and Choshech together, you can't have Yisrael ha'amim together. It's 2 separate things. Now the person has, we have Someach. There's like, speak about Chas v'Shalom, something happens to a person, he says he's a tzemach, he's a plant. He's paralyzed. Then he has a nefesh where he shares with the animal world, nefesh bar chai. And then he has a nefesh hasichli. And then he has a neshama el yoina. So let's see. There's the biological system of the person. You could say the whole digestive system and everything. That's like automatic. That's one part. That's the nefesh hatzimchas. Then the plant nefesh. Then he has movement like an animal. He has wishes. We could call that the emotional world. He has emotions. That's the nefesh habahamis. The emotional world. But animals also have midot. Then there's the intellect, the intellectual, and then there's the power of speech. The power of speech. This really contains all of it together. By he ha'adam the nefesh chaya. The Rebbeinu Shalom threw into man a speaking neshama. That's how the Targum Unclus explains. By hipach ba'apav nishmas chayim and neshama el yoiner. By he ha'adam the nefesh chaya leruach memalala. The speaking being, the power of speech. Keneged the guf, just the guf. The Avera of Arayis is an Adova Gufni. It's guf. That was Golas Purim. That's why Purim we have Mitzvah Sachila and everything, because we see that's where the Parsiim were Gufni. Keneged, the Midas of Gaiva, whatever which is a Nefesh, something more covered, B'divas HaKovered, that was Bava. Maral explains. And Keneged, in other words, the Keneged, corresponding to the intellect, this is specifically Yovan. The Yovanim or Chachamim says the Kinna, he gives a mashal, the Maral to explain that always the Hisnagdus, the opposition is always in the trait. Every nation has a different trait. And specifically, since our subject is Yovan, so Yovan, Yedua, the Greeks were Chachamim. So the opposition of the Greeks was one can say Hanukkah is the battle of Chochmas Umas HaOlam versus Torah. That's the opposition with the difference between Chochma of the human mind and the Chochma of Torah, which is a Chochma al-Yoina given to by HaKadosh Baruch. The Yevonim were miskanim. The Maral says Chachamim miskanim b'Chachamim. The nature of jealousy, the opposition of the Goyim is a jealousy. They're jealous of Am Yisrael, what Am Yisrael has, what they don't have. The Kedusha and the connection with Hashem. But each one is mitnaged to uproot from Am Yisrael if he his middle, if he his trait. The trait of the Yevonim was Chochma, and a chacham is miskani b'chacham. In other words, you can see it like in the world. If somebody's a shoemaker, he's not going to be trying to speak Lashon Hara on a philosophy. It's nothing to do with him. But I'll tell you that all the other shoemakers don't make bad shoes. And if somebody's a teacher, he'll tell you how the other teachers don't teach well. But somebody's a shoemaker, he's not going to talk about teachers, he'll talk about shoemakers. Jealousy is always in the trait where the person has, it's always in the same meter with the person, with what's connected with the person. The Yevonah bin Chachamim, so their opposition to Klal Yisrael is in Chachmas HaTorah. And that's why they wanted that they took the story that they took 70 Chachamim and they put them in separate rooms and had them translate the Torah. The checker will translate them correctly. They'll translate the Torah. They wanted the Torah translated in Yevonah. And after the Torah was translated in Greek, so they said, that's it. So we can also study the Torah. Anu Yisrael. We are also Klal Yisrael. To symbolize this is not this Agab, what are we today? Why is this our goals of today so long? Because the Choshech al Pnei Tahoy. The Yevonah was an introduction to the goals of Edom. Edom is Keneged, the power of speech. How does the Torah describe the power of Esau? Ki tzayid b'piv. His tumor was in his pet. And that's why, by the way, Esau is called the Chazir, and the Chazir is a sign of kashrus on his feet are kosher, but his mouth, he doesn't have malagay. His tumor is inside the mouth. Tzayid b'piv. And that's why we can't come out of this golus, because we redeemed from the power, the tumor of Esau is the peh, and therefore we have to be redeemed from this golus. We need kedushas hapeh, the kedusha of peh, nefesh chai, the kedusha of the ruach memala. By the way, its room is al tahayin. Tahayin is Esau. The word tahayin, the letters of tahayin is hamovis. The movis chayim, the movis b'yahalosh. Nefesh chai, ruach memala. Let's get back. The Maharal explains that symbolically, this is why to show that there was a nitzachon of Koyach HaTorah, there was a victory in the power of Torah. Symbolically, that's why Hashem, to show this victory, Hashem made a miracle in the Menorah. Why did Hashem make it in the Menorah? Because all the various avodot, services in the temple, in the Mishkan, they were all paralleling the Adam, the human being. That's Yedua, that the whole Mishkan, Asuri Mikdash V'Shachanti B'Seichon, the Mishkan is parallel to the human being, with Tzelem Elokim. And everything in the Mishkan was parallel to something in the human being. That's why the Seichon, Ashros Hashkin in the Mishkan was symbolic of the Ashros Hashkin in the human being. Let's see. What is parallel to the Seichel itself of the Adam? Where's the Seichel? What was the Seichel? The Torah, and what is parallel to the Chacham that he draws from the Torah. So there was an avodah of the Menorah. The Menorah is the Chachma that one draws from the Torah. The Torah, when the Torah speaks about the mitzvah of lighting the Menorah, so the Torah says, Michutz leparoiches ha'edus yaroich oisa aroi lebanav. The Torah says outside of the Paroiches Ha'edus. Why does the Torah mention the Edus here? The outside of the Paroiches, the curtain that divides between the Edus is the Aron. Outside of this, the curtain Ha'edus, they'll arrange the Neiris of the Menorah. So the Menorah represented the Chachma. The Chachma of the Chacham. The Chacham studies the Torah, the ability to acquire Torah. The Torah Shemal Peh, this was the Menorah. Haroitz, like the Gemara says, Haroitz sheyachkin. The person wants Chachma, so he should, when he's probably left at Derech Artzon, one points to the place of the Mikdash, but he should specifically point a little bit southeast, because the simon is Menorah B'Dolai, towards the Menorah. So the Menorah represents the Chachmas HaTorah, like the Pasuk Kiner Mitzvah of the Torah Oyer. And since this was a nitzachon over the opposition to the Chachmas HaTorah, the Chachma of the Chachamim, so that's why Hashem specifically made a nesim b'menayim. Now, what is the difference here? I want to explain something. What the emet is the difference between the chokhmah, umes ha'olam, and Torah. We have a chazal. Chazal say, if somebody tells you there's chokhmah b'goyim tamin, believe it. Torah b'goyim, if he says there's Torah by the goyim, al tamin. Torah they don't have. What exactly is represented by the concept of Torah? What is the difference between Torah and Chochmah? Chochmah doesn't have a moral. The wisdom of Goyim has no morals.
No?
Morals.
Oh, no.
Doesn't have a moral. I once heard a Vogel say this. Fire. He didn't speak about morals, but he said fire. Fire in Chochmas HaGoyim, fire, they'll tell you all about fire. What are its properties? What are its powers? What is it composed of? But then you say, what do I do with this fire? Do I burn myself up? Do I burn the other one up? Or perhaps do I make a weapon to kill people? Or do I use it for cooking for Achmas HaZorachim? That's not scientific. That's morals. It's out of the realm of science. Science is to observe the world and define it. What do you do after this definition? Then there's books about morals, but have nothing to do with science. Torah, everything in Torah is in us. The science doesn't describe. The man was given a gift of free will. What does he do with this free will? There's the world and this free will. How does he use the world? Gonisht. Torah is exactly the opposite. Everything in Torah also speaks about fire. But Torah is not busy with the external kli. Torah is not busy with what fire is. Torah is with what fire can do. How do you use the fire? How do you, as a human being in a world that has fire, how do you use fire? So you have a Mishnah Baba Kama. Fire is dangerous. You have to guard it. Arba Omas Nezikin. You have a pasuk on Shabbos. It can be Mechal Shabbos. You have a mitzvah Simchas Yontif. To cook on Yontif. Oichel Nefesh. The Torah is how does the man in being in a world with various forces, how does he relate to these forces and how to use it? The whole concept of Torah is how to use Torah's cooling laws. Torah B'Goyim. The Chachma of the Goyim doesn't make a better person or a less of a good person. If he's a good person, it's not because of his Chachma. It's outside of that. It has nothing. That their Chachma is observation. What is things? It's not the use of the free will. Torah, if we take it a step further, Torah is how does the human being connect with Hashem. The Chachma Torah is to connect with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The whole Chachma Sat Torah is how does the person relate to his Creator. So now let's take this a step further. Hashem created man, and the tachlis, the purpose of man, the purpose of all creation, the gift of its free will, is to be dovek b'HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And he commanded man, and he gave him a mitzvah. He gave him a mitzvah, Eitz Hadas, not to eat from the Eitz Hadas. If he would have kept this mitzvah, the purpose of the world would have been accomplished, and then he would be dovek b'Hashem. And Hashem created for man a nachash. The nachash was B'Koyim Skufa. The only being in the world B'Koyim Skufa is man. But before that, Chazal say he was given a shamish. The shamish was the nachash, and the nachash was B'Koyim Skufa. He was also B'Koyim Skufa. He was up, not bending down, not looking at the earth. He had powers to serve man. And this nachash, instead of serving man, he was mefata man. He used his Skufa, the opposite, his cleverness, to bring the man to Chet, to rebel against his Creator. What did Hashem say to the Nachash? Now you no longer be the Koyim Skufa. You used your upright position to rebel. You go on the ground. I'll say something interesting. There are two in the Sefer Daniel, referring to the Arba Goyas. There are two dreams. There's a dream of Nebuchadnezzar, and there's a dream of the Daniel. Daniel sees, and the Maral explains these two dreams. Daniel sees the Arba Goyas as four different animals coming out of the sea, and specifically, the Golas of Yavon is referred to over there as an Omer, a tiger. In the dream of Nebuchadnezzar, he sees this gigantic monster type of robot made out of various metals, different parts. The head is made out of gold, and then the next part is made out of silver, and then the lower, the abdomen with the legs are made out of copper, and the bottom, the feet, are made out of iron. So goes the dream. The corresponding to Golas Yavon is copper. Now let's speak. Let's see something interesting. If there's a common denominator, he sees Yavon as a nomer, a tiger. Yehuda ben Taimur Oimer, heavy as kenomer lasois chetzoin avicha shebeshamayim. There's a midah called azus. Azus can be used as a kli for kedusha. You have asponim, say asponim legehenim. There's a midah called azus, and the nomer has this midah. He's not afraid. Nothing stops him. It's a lack of humbling himself. Azus. The Maral says that the midah of azus, Chochma gives azus. What's Chochma? It's Chashivas. Azus means not to be mitpa'el, not to be influencnced, to have your own stand, to stand in front of opposition, to be able to stand upright in front of opposition. Azus the tumah is not to have you humble oneself in front of somebody that's greater than himself. So the Chochma of Yavon gave them azus. Chochma gives azus. Am Yisrael is also azus. If the Torah would have been given to any other nation, Chutz Am Yisrael would have been long forgotten and long left. Yisrael azim shebu'umayis. They have the power to stand up against all the Gzeir Shmad and all the things. They stand up straight and they're not influenced by the Goyim. They haven't left the Torah. In all these, with all the opposition and everything, they haven't left the Torah. That's Yisrael azim shebu'umayis. Nechaish is kappa as well. Kappa is the, I don't know why, today kappa is a soft metal, I don't know if it's the same choshes or whatever, but the word nichush, but the kappa has in it the word nachash. And when you speak about the Navi speaks about Am Yisrael, when somebody's not mitbayesh, meitzach, it says meitzach nechusha, Yilashon nechoshes, meitzach nechusha, azus meitzach. The azus is because when a person is mitbayesh, so you don't see his forehead because he puts himself down. He's not mitbayesh, but like this, he looks you in the face. So the azus is the metzach. Metzach nechusha, a hard forehead which doesn't have any busha. So nechoshes is the same thing. The two dreams are the same. The midas ha'azus, but here we have it suddenly with the word nachash. Why? Because the nachash was the kindness skufa. The nachash was Peiretz Geder Yashchenu Nachash. The nachash was Peiretz Gibushoyim. He wasn't nichna to the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He used his kindness skufa to rebel against Hashem. That's why it was taken away from him. What gives a person azus chachma? Now the question is, what gives Klal Yisrael hachno, the opposite? Here we get to the difference between chachmas umes ha'olam and chachmas ha'olam. Chachmas umes ha'olam has the klip of the nachash. It creates azus. It creates an azus ponim, a chaysa hachno. Torah is the opposite. The whole goal of Torah is to bring another. Ma'ay mayim ele Torah. Ma mayim yordim l'mokum nomuch. Av Torah yeredis l'mokum nomuch. The Torah only at the tonight to receive Torah. The condition to receive Torah is another and Achnor. So, I want to explain. So we have Azus the Tumah and Azus the Kedusha. I want to show you now what was the power, in which schus that come about the Nitzochan of Yavin. What was necessary for the Nitzochan of Yavin? The Bnei Makam, the Bnei Matisyo, they had to be Moisam Nefesh. Where do we find a human being who was Moisam Nefesh? And there was a mitzvah Mesiras Nefesh. And we find Mesiras Nefesh Kodol Ma'od, you got for the Tzibur Hashem in Klal Yisrael.
Nachshon.
Nachshon. Here we have Nachshon. In Nachshon, you got that Netzach Nechusha. And who was his great-grandfather? The Shalshelis begins, of course, from Yehuda, but Yehuda had a son. What was the name of the son of Yehuda? Peretz. Peretz gave birth to the one to Nachshon, who was Peretz the Am, Melech Peretz Geder. That's the Azus the Kedusha, because Mesiras Nefesh, that's Azus the Kedusha. That's the Peretz the Kedusha. So the Purkan of Yavin is the Midas Ha'azus the Tumah. The Purkan is the opposite, the Koyach of Mesiras Nefesh. The Yavonim were pirates, like a Nachash. What were they pirates? They were pirates, Yud Gimel Pirtzais in the Seireh. There's a place in the base of Mikdash, because the Kedushas Yisrael is this, that we're separated from the Amen. Hamavdu ben Orla Choshech ben Yisrael Amen. The Yavonim there. These Chalmot of Kedusha, they were parts of the Chaimas. By the way, Yud Gimel Pirtzais, the Rambam, when he wanted to be Mevases, the Rambam, when he wanted to put the foundation of our Amunah, so he found how many Ikrei Amunah, Yud Gimel Ikrei Amunah. The Yavanim wanted to be pirates, all the Yud Gimel Ikrei Amunah. They were to be pirates, the Yisraelis of Amunah. So Am Yisrael should lose their identity with Hashem. And the opposite, and Amunah is the power to take the Shidra, take the Chachma. The Chachma represents the Kaimas Kufa. Where did the Yavanim have a Kaimas Kufa? The Chachma. The Chachma, why was the human being created, the Kaimas Kufa, in opposition to all the animal world? Because the human being was given the gift of Chachma. But the Goyim used this Kaimas Kufa instead of to recognize Hashem, to rebel against Hashem. So they're shaykh to the Nachash, they're shaykh to the Rishus HaNachash of a Gachayim Chatelech. And that's why the Meruma is specifically in Nomer and Nechoshes. It's the Midas of Azus Ponim the Gehenna. But Chachmas HaTeir is the opposite. It says, V'hafta, like the Sifri says, V'hafta Hashem Alekecha, V'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha. How do I come to love Hashem? How do I come to love Hashem? Hamad V'hoyu hadvorim ha'eima levavcha. Be a masmid in Torah. Through the study of Torah, you bend down to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you become Davik B'Hashem. Torah and Chachma, even though it looks like there's a common denominator between them, they're both intellectual pursuits, but the Ma'aseh, they bring a person in two opposite directions. The Chachmas Umes Ha'olam, without an external power, brings him in the direction going down to the Gehenna. And the Chachmas HaTeira brings him in the direction of Shemayim. I'm reminded of a story that somebody stopped the Chafetz Chaim, and he said to him, a maskil, said to the Chafetz Chaim, you have the power of writing. It's such a waste. You could write such beautiful novels, such beautiful stories. You have the power of literature. It's wasted. What do you use it? So the Chafetz Chaim said to him, I'll give you a mashal on what you're telling me. And the Chafetz Chaim said like this: a guy was going on a horse. He had a horse and buggy, a old horse and buggy. And let's say the time when the cars began, and somebody stops him and he says, you're going on this old horse and buggy. I have a Rolls Royce. I'll give you a lift in Rolls Royce. What do you have to go with the dust? So the other one says to but you see, the problem was like this. He was going with a horse and buggy, but he was going south. The Chacham. And Rolls Royce was going north. He said, I really appreciate the offer of your lift, but there's a problem. I really accept it, but we're going in opposite directions. He says, you offer me to ride in things. I was like, you're going to Gehenna if you ride, and I'm going to Gehenna. It's very nice what you offer at that. I really wish it could be bought. We're not going in the same direction. Thank you very much for the lift, but we're not going in the same direction. So that's the nafkamina between Chachmas, Umas Ha'olam, and Torah. Torah's medabik. This is Chazal Umaramas, when the Chazal said that the Metakin, this is the Inyan, that the Chacham were Metakin, Yud Gimel Ishtachavoyas, Keneged Yud Gimel Pirtzos. Because the Ishtachavoya is the Tikkun on the Nachash. And that's which the Nachash is the whole Merida, the separation of the person from his Bari Olam. That's Merumas, this Inyan, is Merumas that I specifically, is Merumas in this Inyan of Nomer and Nechashis. Now, with this introduction, we'll appreciate something else. One of the Poiskin said something absolutely beautiful. Yeah, that's what I needed, the Chumash operation.
It's in the next room. It's in the next room.
Whatever. We'll say it
It's
all.
really,
You
try
know,
the next room on the table. It might be a Chumash Bereshis. Bamidbar.
Here.
Okay.
Know that the Am Yisrael spoke Lashon Hara in the Midbar, and then came HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent Nechashu v'Srofim. He sent Srofim to bite them. And then Moshe Rabbeinu made, what did he make? A Nechash and a Choishes. Because this too, to speak Lashon Hara and HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Moshe Rabbeinu is not to be nichna to the manik. This was Azus. So he sent, and then he says to them, HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells him, what does HaKadosh Baruch Hu say? Let's see. Let's see what it says over here. This. Yoim Hashem el Moshe, Aseh lecha Soraf. So the Poskim say like this. Here's Merumaz, the three brachas. Aseh lecha Soraf. And I'll say it like this: Aseh lecha Soraf. That's lahadik ner shel Chanukah. We have a mitzvah to light neiros, and at the neiros we make three brachas. Aseh lecha Soraf. Then make yourself a Soraf. What does that have to do with the psukim? But after what we spoke, we can understand what I have to do with the psukim. First, let's say just the remnants. Aseh lecha Soraf. That's lahadik ner shel Chanukah. V'simay soyal nes. Shos nisim avoseinu vayom heimis manazem. Be mit oira to be mishabech HaKadosh Baruch Hu on the nisim that He made for us. V'simay soyal nes. Look at this snare and remind yourself of the nisim l'mayla me'ateva v'schus chachmas ha'teira. Of the chachmas, his gabness of chachmas ha'teira, the nes of the menorah that symbolizes chachma. V'hoya kol anoshuch. Whoever was bitten by the snake, v'roi soyachai shechayonu v'kiyimonu v'giyonu azman hazeh. That's a bicha shechayonu. It's not stam. Now let's go back again. Where is Yovan Merumaz? In the Chaloim of in the Chaloim of on which metal? The Chashana Rashi says the Nechash was made from the Choshes. Lashon Neifel al Lashon. Why Nechash Lashon Neifel al Lashon? What's the connection? What's the connection of the Nechash with the Nechoshes? Because the Nechash is as. He wasn't Mishdi like Korab Moedim is Nepach LaNachash. The Nachash wasn't Nichna to the Ritzayin Hashem. That's the Metzach Nechusha. Is as what's the opposite to have mysterious nefesh for the mitzvahs Hashem? Is asay lecha soraf. Make yourself into a soraf. Srofim by Fani Kodesh. Make yourself be memali yourself with lahabut to do the Ritzayin Hashem. Be muchan for mysterious nefesh. Ki ner Hashem nishma sodom. The lighting of the ner of Chanukah is symbolic that the person has to be ma'ira, this lavis of the neshama that doesn't want anything of this world, that the neshama wants to be davak Hashem, he wants to return to Hashem. Make yourself into a soraf, like a malach, like a shliach, to be muchan on Mesiras Nefesh, to be mevatel the body for the Ritzayin Hashem, like the Maccabeim did at that time, that they were Meiser Nefesh for Kiddush Hashem. Aselech Asoraf. And then if you Aselech Asoraf, that's the hepech of the Nachash. That's the hachnoah to Hashem. That's why the Chachamim were attacking Yemei Halav V'Ido. The Simoy say on Nes. Because the koyach of Nisim, what is a Nes? A Nes is the Pshat. A Nes, what's the Midah Keneged Midah of Nes? When a person is mevatel his teva, when he abolishes his nature for the will of Hashem, that's the concept of a miracle. That's a Nes. Because he's going against the teva. Asher kitshonu b'mitzvayso. Is when a person is Meiser Nefesh according to the shiur, the amount that he goes against the nature for the Ratzon Hashem, this creates a nest. To go back to Nachshon, when he went to Heshia Maiman Nefesh, so the yam was nifratz. As Aselach Asarav, and without Koyach of Sarav, Simoy Sayanes. That's the power of Nisim. And because the Nisim come because when a person is dovek in the neshama, like the neshama is Elyoin Aloylam Hazeh, so then he has the kedusha which is Elyoin, and this world is an Olam Ayva, it's the Olam Amavis. And when the person is dovek in the Pnimius, then he's shaykh to the Olam Achai, which is the Netzach. The Roa Oisoi, by the Hibit Oisoi, it's the Simoy Sayanes, and when a person is in the Maila in the Darga Nisim, whoever's noshuk by the nochash of the chet of the Marishim, that we're all bitten by that nochash, but Berois by the power of Mesiris Nefesh, when it goes out of that oilam, that Xeris HaMavis, the Roa Oisoi v'chai. Then one turns the guf into a chai, into a netzach. So these are the three brachas here. Right.
Shkoyach. Harim Roshim